In seeing how I made it, let's go into the video. So guys, to make this skirt, I'll be making use of this beautiful African print fabric here. You'll be needing about 2 yards of it. Then I have my black lining here and the zipper. So this is basically all we need to make this skirt. These are the measurements you'll be needing for this tutorial. So guys, first thing I went ahead to do was to fold my fabric into 4 because I want to cut the front and the back pieces together. So as you can see, I folded my fabric into 4 and I went ahead to iron it out. So the next thing I'm doing is to just mark a straight line close to the border here so that I'll cut this area out because I don't need it. When you're folding your fabric into 4, guys, ensure that it has enough room for you to be able to measure your hip measurement and still have enough space for allowance. So the next thing I'm going ahead to do now is to mark the full length of my skirt. So the full length of my skirt actually is going to be 18 inches, right? So I'm marking it right now at 22 inches because I want to fold this skirt up in a way towards the lining. So you're going to understand what I mean very soon. So I'm cutting this out now. I'm marking this out, sorry, with 22 inches. So guys, from this middle part here, you can see that I'm cutting away from the fabric from the other fold by about 1.5 inch. As you can see here, this about 1.5 inch I'm leaving on this side here. This part I'm cutting right now is going to be the zipper allowance for the back. Just like I said earlier, when you take measurement from this point here, which is the center front, down to this side, you should make sure that it's enough to go around your hip and you still have enough for stitching allowance. So when I took these measurements, it was just enough for me. So now I'm just going to make this part straight here because it's looking like I didn't mark it correctly. Make it straight, and now we're going to start taking our measurements on this. So guys, this skirt is going to have about 1.5 inch band at the top. So as you can see, I extended my tape a little bit by 1.5 inch, and then I marked my hip line, which is 8 inches. After marking that, the next thing I'm going to do is on this waistline here. So guys, from the center front, as you see where I placed my tape, I divided my waist measurement by 4 and I marked it here, and then I added 1 inch for my dart, and then I'm adding 2 inches extra for stitching allowance. So that's all for the waist. Now still taking the measurement from the center front of the skirt and not from the zipper allowance, I divided my hip measurement by 4 and marked it, and then I added 2 inches as well for stitching allowance. Now the next thing is to get the full length of my skirt. So still taking note of that 1.5 inches, I marked the 20 inches full length that I want my skirt to be, as you see me doing like this. I'm going to fold it up from that 20 inches mark I made, because this excess fabric is going to be part of the lining. You guys are going to see how I'm going to be doing that very soon. So I just folded it up like this, and now what I'm going to do is connect these lines. So my waistline, I'm going to connect it to my hip line, just like you see me doing like this. And when you're through with that, the next thing we're going to do is whatever measurement you have on your hip line, let's take the measurement on our hip line. So we have 11. So I'm going to remove 1 inch from that 11 on this end of the skirt. So I'm going to mark 10 inches here. And what I'm going to do is to connect this line to meet the end. So guys, now that we're done cutting the side, we are going to come to this waist area. And what I'm going to do from the center front, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and I'm just going to connect that 1 inch to the side using a curve, just the same way you see me making a curve like this. And what we are going to do is to just cut this part away. And guys, you're only going to cut this away only on the front part, not on both the front and the back. So I hope you understand that. So now this is basically all for the cutting of this pencil skirt. Now what I'm going to do is to cut out my lining. Remember I told you that this fold is going to be part of the lining, right? So I just took a measurement from my waist down to this point here. It's 15 inches. So my lining is actually going to just end at 15 inches. So I went ahead to just cut out my lining behind the camera, and this is what I have. You can see that the length of the lining actually stopped just where that fold ended. So this is what I'm going to be using. You're going to be seeing how I will join these pieces together if you've never done lining like this before. So right now, this is our front part of the skirt, and then this is the lining piece, right? So I'm going to stitch it up here, and then I'll bring this down part of it, fold it up like I did while I was cutting, and then I'm going to stitch it down here. When I'm through with that, I will stitch it on the sides as well, but I'll be leaving a little bit of space so that I have a place where I can turn this to the right side. So I'm just going to do the same thing I'm doing here on these pieces. on the back pieces as well. So guys, this is what my pieces looked like after I was done stitching them together. You see this stitch I was talking about? This is how it looks. And I told you guys I was going to leave a space here so that I'll be able to turn into the right side. So you can see I have a space like this in all the other pieces as well. So basically what I'm going to do now is to turn every one of these pieces to the right side. So guys, this space that I turn it through, you can see it here. So I'm just going to fold it in like this, and I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and make a top stitch to slit up. I will do it for all the other pieces as well, and then I'll go ahead and iron this out. So this is what I had after I was done ironing and stitching down those edges. So guys, I went ahead to arrange everything properly in place, the waist area, and taking note of the zipper allowance at the back. So from the center front, again from the center front here, this point here, and not the zipper allowance, this point here, I measured 3.5 inches, which is half of my nipple to nipple measurement, because these pieces are folded into two. So my nipple to nipple measurement, which is also my bust span, is 7 inches. So half of that is 3.5 inches. So I just marked that on this front area here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my dart here, also make it on this other side, and then I'll make it on the two back pieces as well. So guys, I'm through fixing the dart. Now I'm going to just mark the space where I want my zipper to be. So I just extended my tape with 1.5 inches, just like I've been